One more time so it's easy to edit. Booch, booch.
I thought we fucked up.
Music.
I thought we fucked up there. Then you started making sounds. So I was like, oh shit,
you have to make like really cool music to it. Like,
I got though. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the K Podcast. It's your boy Joe Reezy. I'm here with the Sports Picks dude, my co-host tonight, Francis. And before we get started, I just want to make sure you guys check out the website, cave.com. That's K4V3.com. There you can access the online store. You can go buy a hoodie, go buy a t-shirt, go buy a mug, go support the show, guys.
Yo, Shane. Are you supposed to be injured?
Look at me moving, man. I can't stop moving.
I saw the crutches over there, too. Tonight, we have one of our good friends, Howie Nguyen, and professional stuntman, Mr. Shane Daniels. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
What up?
Man, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
What's up? So, you going on a road trip, Howie? What the fuck? Last minute?
Yeah, you know what? But then Francis told me you'd be butthurt if I bailed, so I came on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, but he was like, "Oh, did Howie tell you he wasn't gonna come?" I was like, "Bro, he would have told me if I wasn't come. What's he telling you?"
I told you he was scared.
That's funny.
Yeah. Shay was like, he's probably nervous to come on. He's probably like, should I wear this chain or?
Stupid.
But before we get started, I just want to ask Shane, just shoot these down if they're true, and let me know if they're, or shoot these down if they're false, and let me know if they're true. I looked you up, and I just want to know if these movies are movies that you actually took part in.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
Damn. Far From Home.
Dude, yeah. Very little on that one. Oh, I got to work. I don't know. Basically, one day, this guy that I worked for on a different movie, he goes, "Hey, how skinny do you think you can get?" I'm like, and I knew he was about to work on the Spider-Man movies. I was like, I can get real skinny, but I can't get that skinny. Like it just didn't work. And then so one day he had hired me on to get to work on it anyways, right? Because you don't have to be on the whole movie to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys remember the ferry boat scene in
the first one, right? With Iron Man.
Yeah. So in that scene, I got to get web slung by Spider-Man 2 times. It was so fucking awesome. Basically, I end up like pointing a gun at him, and he web slings me into a car windshield, which was so freaking awesome. I got hurt on it a little bit, but it was so freaking cool. And then when you watch it in the movie, it somehow does this really weird pan. Disney must have thought it was too violent to see someone go into the windshield or something. Of course, they cut it. And then I get web slung again by Spider-Man. So I got to fucking get web slung by Spider-Man.
You were on The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Garfield, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. Actually, that was one of the first.
He's skinnier than fucking what's his face?
Tom Holland.
Different body shape. They're completely different. Like one's also taller, one's skinnier. You know what I mean? But like I think they both did a good job. I think Tom's personally I like because he's a little more likable, I guess. More childlike, I would say, in a sense. And you kind of want that out of a superhero like Spider-Man. You know, because that's the feel you want from a superhero.
And you were in Tenet too?
Oh my God, yeah.
Damn, you know what? Low key. I walked out of that movie, so I probably didn't see it just because it was too complex for me. I think I was too high.
You never have seen me. Okay, if you were high, good luck. No. But if you're high, you have to understand the movie before you get high to watch that movie. Cool.
Yeah, that movie was a trip.
If you don't know anything about that movie because you were too high, I don't want to ruin it for you.
You were in Forever Purge, both Hunger Games, Fear of the Walking Dead, and I think this is the coolest part. You were Deathstroke in the fucking Batman game too. For
one little portion, one of the a friend of mine had was working on it for a while, and then he had to move on to another job for whatever reason. And he's like, hey, can you just fill in these couple spots? It's just a couple actions, right? But it's but he needed someone that could do free running and parkour, and so dude, I was like, yeah. And it's just a little snippet. It's so fucking cool. But yeah, that was like one of my first experiences on motion capture, and it's just you get to be you, because they can mold you to do whatever you want, you know, and it's just freaking cool.
And out of all, I mean, these are all pretty impressive. Spider-Man, fucking in the Batman game too. But like I said, one of my favorite YouTube videos was that Assassin's Creed 3 fan film where you were Connor. Dude, that was so epic. I mean, were you a fan of the game before you were asked to do that, or did you get exposed to it by that opportunity?
No, man. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know why. So I had worked with these two guys on a short, and since I think it was a short, I can't remember, but I became their assassin because they needed a free runner, and it just became like such a freaking cool thing because I had called up my buddy Zin Wuku because he's a martial arts guy, really cool. Like he was like one of the inspirations for me to get into free running or parkour back in the day. And so I was like, hey man, it's this small job, but it's gonna be badass. And I think you would represent the persona that I would want it to feel like in his choreography and his fighting. And he said, yeah. And I was like, cool, I'll split the money with you. It was like a cheap thing because you don't know. But you want to be part of something so freaking cool. And at the time, Assassin's Creed was it, and free running is always going to be there in its own little niche, and it's going to be like you just bring it all together and to express something cool for everyone else, you know.
Low-key, if Assassin's Creed came out when I was in elementary school, I would have fucking broken my knee doing some dumb shit, man, trying to fucking do that shit. I'm glad it came out when I was older. I'm like, nah, I can't do fucking that shit.
Dude, I did this doing it for fun. Dude, you just never get rid of it, and then you realize, damn, it wasn't worth it in the end.
Damn.
You know what I mean? It's okay, though. It's good.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. All right. I want to know how you and Howie ended up becoming friends. How did you guys cross paths?
So we've known each other since elementary school.
Shit, yeah, it's been a long time.
I made friends. Howie's brother has been my best friend since.
Are you guys the same? Are you guys the same class? Like,
I'm a year younger than Sean.
Oh, okay.
So he's like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
so I remember for some reason we became friends because of our mortal enemy. This guy, what was his name? Was it Morgan or I can't remember? He fucking would just be mean to us. Like one day we're like,
I don't know who we talking about. I don't remember.
Dude, I don't even remember.
You talking to me? Come on, I don't remember shit.
I know, me neither. Go text Sean, remember the bully. But anyway, bro, like, you know, in PE or in school, you would like have to freeze at the bell and then they'd tell us to go back to class. Well, we all froze and this guy just comes up and just fucking, my legs are open and he just kicks me in the balls for no reason.
Yeah, he remembers all the details.
I because I watched the whole thing happen. Like, you don't think someone's gonna do it to you. You're still like, you know he's gonna do it to you because you're stuck frozen and he's not. He's not stuck to the fucking matrix. He knew back then. He's like, I don't need to listen to your bell. Fuck you.
but he was my brother's friend.
Yeah,
he was my brother's friend, and then we got closer because of that.
Yeah, and dude, they've always been for. Dude, my parents moved to Riverside at one point, and I hadn't even finished high school, and so their dad opened up their home to me, and it was so wild because their dad is very traditional, and we didn't think he liked me at all. So,
no, he didn't.
But we all know
you were right, bro.
Spot. He hated it when I left my rollerblades all over the place.
Hey, Shane, didn't you say something about your gut feeling?
Yeah, it's not my gut feeling. It's my God feeling.
Oh, shit.
No, seriously. I have learned, they've programmed us to think it's your gut feeling, and then they program you to think that love is actually here. But when you start just doing and saying, as I believe that I do now, what God is telling you, I know it's right here. This is my God feeling. So you're getting every honest bit of me tonight, and this is the coolest thing because I've always wanted to be heard. So fucking
Hey.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I thought it was a typo. I thought you meant gut feeling, but God feeling. Damn. Okay.
That wasn't. That was.
I see you.
That was.
I mean, Howie knows I got into a fucking deep rabbit hole of like weird. I mean, Francis knows too, weird like spiritual shit. So I feel you, bro. I used to sleep on the floor willingly too.
I love the floor, bro.
Yeah.
It's so good for your lower back. It's so.
I remember coming over to Darrell's house, and all of a sudden, there's no fucking furniture.
Bro, or like fucking sitting crisscross applesauce.
Yeah. It's better for your hips, anyways.
Come over, guys, and then you guys would be over, and it's just my dresser and a TV, and we'd just be sitting Indian style, fucking like kindergarten, passing the blood around.
It was the worst when you try to sleep over at Darrell's house because you know you're sleeping on the floor.
But fuck, am I really gonna sleep on the floor right now?
Yeah,
Dude, Bentley loved it. Bentley would just be all over you, like easy.
Hey man, it ain't cheap. We just frugal. We're happy with nothing.
You know what's funny? After that, I don't know if you guys follow fucking what's his face, Liver King.
No.
He kind of talks about that, like sleeping and
who are we talking about?
Liver King. Have you guys heard of Liver King?
No, I'm looking that shit up right now. But tell
He's
me
the
about
fucking
That's the dude that eats
huge.
meat raw, right?
You know him, right, Francis? The fucking huge
Yeah, I kind of
behemoth man.
I've seen his stuff before.
Behemoth, man.
Like, never,
Bro,
like,
Howie,
raw.
Google this fool, bro. This guy.
Oh,
is
what the
Jack
fuck?
City.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, but he talks about like the tenets of primal man, and he eats fucking raw food, like he eats like cow testicles and shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, he sleeps on like
It's cow testicles, anyways.
yeah, but anyways.
Like, that shit was normal.
You gotta have massive cojones to eat some cojones, though. You know.
It's a slight way to like discredit him before I report what he has to say. But no, he sleeps on like hard surfaces. I think he sleeps on like a cardboard box or like apparently like the same reason I stopped sleeping on beds is because you don't want to sleep in an artificial surface.
Oh my God, Scotty Marr retreat. I hope a lot of people come in and watch it. Oh, it's cool. You guys might see a lot of fucking patriots.
But yeah, man, I used to fucking like label my water. That shit was like, I remember when you guys would come over, you'd be like, what the fuck is this black magic?
Yo, you beat me. You beat me to it. I was about to ask you about that. Remind me about that shit.
It's like, you want some happy water or you want some confidence water?
Dude, you guys, no joke, you guys should start thanking your water. Have you guys heard that theory about thanking your water?
Bro, that's exactly why I did it, because I saw that documentary on water being conscious. So it's
I've
like,
been doing it.
you know, why not?
Oh, shit, we're laughing about it. Shane said he's been doing it.
Bro,
I'm the weird one, dude. I'm the
Shane,
weird one.
Shane, I'd put like crystals in there too, like to magnify the fucking affirmation. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the more time that you spend taking care of something, like
Shit, he got it in his hand.
and water. Bro, seriously, I filter it through this, and it had to do. I was looking at deuterium and how it's like not like that's worse for you than the fluoride and all the other chemicals they're putting in the water. And I went down this thing, and this was my thought of canceling that out. And I don't know exactly what it is, but this is like a whole bunch of minerals. So if you think of it as like filtering through energetic minerals, you're treating your water with a lot of care. And then when you start thanking it, your power just grows, because water is everything. If you think about it, right? It's the world. It's in the air. It's below. It's above. It's inside us. We breathe it. It's literally in every plant that you eat. Veggie, water. Think through water. It's everywhere.
Now that I look back on it, did it make any difference? I feel like at the time it did. Like, no matter what you do, I feel like the placebo effect still is, you know, a real thing, and it still is pretty effective. So whether or not like the crystals and the word affirmations really did anything for me, I don't fucking know. But I do know the placebo effect is real.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is the definition of the placebo effect?
Excuse me,
bro. That's a good question. I like that. That is, I think it's actually mind magic, but put into layman's term to kind of dumb it down. Because if you think about it, it's your mind actually making the effect that you're told that it does. And whether or not it does that, you're making it do that. So,
okay, so then
crazy.
That means you already believe in manifestation. Okay,
yeah.
And so if you want to think that if you want to think about everything as you should in vibrations and frequencies, right? Our voice, our mind, our thought creates everything. So everything that we do, we create. If you think about a negative thought, it's going to manifest in some sort of way, physical, mental, emotionally, sickness, whatever it is, it's going to come back. So I promise you, the way I started getting to where I am, I started thinking my water. And now, like I said, the God feeling that I have is I just say and I just do and I just feel what it's urging me to do. And every time I do it, ask all my friends, something good happens as soon as I listen to it. So I've learned sacrifice just to give into this feeling, and I've never been happy, but my whole entire life has been crumbling around me.
What I love about that shit is even though it doesn't, let's say, playing the devil's advocate, it doesn't do anything. Just the act of being appreciative of simple things such as like your water or waking up, I feel like that kind of domino effects into having a better day or, being on a more positive tone or vibration. So.
Yeah, so back to the placebo effect.
Yeah.
You didn't get you didn't get the blue pill. You got the other pill, which was nothing, but you thought you got something, so you believe that it's going to fix you. So that already, the placebo is the one that was actually healing us because it made you believe that you were going to heal, but the other one was actually making you sick. See what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's the placebo effect, and that is how our mind works. So if our mind is that powerful already, they're lying to you. So our mind, I'm telling you, I did this injury in September 22nd. I shattered it into 8 pieces from 30 feet up. I basically did an axe kick from 30 feet up to the floor. My body,
okay.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Can I test something real quick though? My bad, Jarrell.
No, handle.
Hey, can you guys hear this?
Yeah, dude.
No, that's all I could think of. That's all I could think of the whole time. I was like, no, you're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up. You're on the internet, bro. It's gonna go.
No, it's called.
Awesome.
I didn't hear anything.
All right, cool. So we're good. All right, let's do this.
Perfect. Before we go deeper down the rabbit hole, I want to pull back a little bit, but I just want to say too, like, as far as you mentioned the Matrix, the placebo effect. Yeah, I feel like I never thought about it this way. It could be something more magical, but it was kind of draped over like a vanilla term to kind of dumb it down. Just like conspiracy theorists, you know what I mean? Like the CIA developed that word just to kind of make the people who are kind of leaking out information that might be real
To demonize
them. Yeah. So fucking crazy, man. But anyways, let's leave a bookmark there and let's go back up to the surface. Howie, let's talk about traveling, dude. Where's the fucking best place you've been since we're talking about crazy shit? And as far as culture goes, where's the craziest place you've been to where you kind of were like really culture shocked?
Shoot, honestly, I haven't been to too many places. I've been to a lot of cities in Italy. But besides that, to be honest, I haven't been to a lot. But I do, you do get kind of humbled when you leave, you know what I mean? Because around here, it's all about kind of materialistic things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And out there, it's just, every place is so aged, it's so old, but everyone still lives kind of lavishly, in certain areas. And, I don't know, there's definitely a lot to learn when you start traveling.
Yeah. You've been to, I feel like more places than I've been, probably we have been, but what's something kind of you've learned from just people in general? Is there kind of like a universal trait that humans have cross country?
Yeah, they all don't like Americans.
Ain't that the
Hey,
truth?
kind of facts though,
But
right?
You can't wear that shirt when you travel.
How you think that's our fault, or you think that's just like why do you think that is?
Shit, I don't know, man. It's probably from the tourists that are going out there, you know. They just act, you know, as snobby as a lot of Americans are with money, you know. So they kind of get the shit end of the stick with the Americans, you know what I mean?
It's crazy because America is such a big country with different regions that sometimes we get labeled. I experienced that too, and when I went to Paris, when I asked for certain things, I kind of got like a little rudeness, a little just like, oh, okay. They weren't really like too welcoming, especially in a place like Paris where they're known for like hospitality in their restaurants and all of those things. So we get a misconception because some people from certain parts of the country act a certain way, but you know, it's like worldwide too. Like someone from Italy, you can't just say, oh, they act all XYZ because you haven't met every person from Italy. Everyone's different. But for some reason, America just has this stigma when traveling.
Yeah, I think also maybe it's because when we travel to the hot spots of tourists already, you know what I mean? So whether you like it or not, you're already conceived in that pool of people of like fucking these guys, you know?
Yeah.
Are there any places that you've been to where you kind of wanted to lay roots in and probably live in, Howie?
You know, shit, I really love Paris, but I think it's just more the aesthetics that I really like, you know? I think all these places, it's nice to visit actually, but you know, I still want to come home after, you know, a good 4 to 6 weeks of, you know, being out there.
Yeah.
Yo, Howie, did you ever experience any of that kind of like a cold shoulder vibe from Parisians when you visited?
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah, from everybody out there, honestly. Yeah, if you don't get that, then you've never been to Paris.
Because I'm with my family, it got to the point where I was just like, I'm just gonna tell my parents to speak in Tagalog, and we're just pretend we're from the
just play the card really hard.
Yeah.
They are, hey, bro, they already know. Come on. They already know what you look like. So awesome. Dude. But that's, you know what, that's the thing with culture and stuff like that. And when you start understanding that the divide was done on purpose, there's a lot of reason why Americans are hated. It's because they don't understand what it's like to be in the third world country. They've never seen it. So they don't understand what they've been through. So then when all the other countries look at America and they see the waste that's so deeply rooted, and Americans just don't even understand it. So they're sheltered at the same time by the system, you know, because America is like one of the last free countries of the world on paper.
That's true.
And we're last stand. So you guys got to remember that, like, they have propagandized music. They have propagandized some of these revolutions that we didn't even know about. We're all, you know, paid by both sides of war, right?
Perfect segue, man, to go into the gut. They propagandize the food too. It's crazy how like the same food here and in Europe, like some of the ingredients are different.
Oh yeah, way different.
Oh, it is like that though, because sorry to cut you off, Joe, but yeah, I mean the government definitely regulates it much more than Americans, and they actually have like certain ingredients that they say are, you know, toxic. Americans still use it. So
why do you think that is?
Bro, I mean, like, literally,
us,
why?
They are trying to dumb us down. They are trying to kill us. They indoctrinate us through our food. They indoctrinate us through our schools, through the air, through everything. And so this is why it's so hard to wake people up, because you guys gotta think, like, if this process would have happened really fast, no one would ever know what to think. There's so much to learn through this entire awakening process, and it's just like, imagine, I woke up end of 2020, and I've been nonstop. I can't sleep. I research constantly. I'm looking at this stuff. I'm connecting this now. I've learned, you know, I listened to this lady for 2.5 years, Tor says, and she is truth. She is truth. She's honest. She's so full of truth, and she's a military intelligence, super like whistleblower Jason Bourne status. Like, she tells us everything. And the power and the confidence that she's instilled in me with knowledge, and when you hear truth, you just know it because it resonates, right? So once you start learning that, there's nothing else to listen to. So
for me, I started getting into like, quote unquote, I hate using fucking the term conspiracy theories, but I started getting into that. Like, I think the first time I did mushrooms in like 2006, 7, and I got really hot into it. I got like on fire about it until like 2013 when, dude, it's a never ending rabbit hole, man. And it's pretty depressing. You know what I mean? So fucking, I snapped out of it, but yeah, after 2020, it's hard to ignore what's going on right now. I mean, Howie and Francis, you guys aren't really into all that conspiracy theory, but after 2020, what do you guys think? Like, is something up? Or like, I mean, I feel like there's too many holes right now in the fucking show that it's hard to ignore. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, but at the end of the day, they're just they're just
I think y'all true.
they're just trying to divide us. Honestly, I mean, we can go down like what's true and what's not true, but they're just dividing us. America was built on a revolution, so they don't want us to revolt anymore. They're doing whatever it takes to keep us divided, and that's
so true.
That's the sad part about the system right now, because you know some people never talk to a Republican or never talk to Democrats. Like, well, why not? Why don't you just learn about your differences and come to an agreement of some sort? But because our founding fathers, our quote unquote founding fathers, that's exactly what they did, but they don't want that to happen anymore. So that's my theory or my hypothesis.
You're absolutely right, my friend.
That's a good take.
Oh, thank you.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at anybody any different than someone on the street. You feel me?
Beautiful. You know why? As soon as I log in, you know why? You can see it. One, you're Filipino, so the Filipinos have the most love in the world because they have the very least like mine.
Yes, they do.
I'm not
thank
Filipino.
You. Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna be going there to heal. I feel like the only place. I think I'll be doing backflips in 4 months if I can go to the
Philippines. Is amazing.
Oh, it's the best place in the world, and I want to be able to help all the Philippines. And I'm going to.
Damn, I still haven't been to the Philippines.
I'm telling you, when I'm there, you guys can all come through. When I'm settled, we come through.
Swim with the whale sharks, bro.
Bro, and Cebu.
Yeah. Well, speaking of these places, man, like when's the next time when are we actually gonna all travel together? Fuck.
Bro, I'm selling everything up. I'll be back though. Wait till the system shifts over, and then we
might be down to go to the Philippines next year.
Yeah.
It's the best place in the world. You will see so much love.
But what about you, Howie? Is like, do you feel like things aren't weird enough yet to be like, I think what those fools are talking about might be true? Because I know when David and I used to come up with some shit, we used to go to your pad, like light up 2 blunts and put the documentary on, like, hey, dude, check this out.
Yeah, you guys. It's always interesting to hear it. So I'm very open-minded. I always hear both sides or all the sides, But to be honest, as ignorant as it sounds, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm only going to control exactly what I can control. And right now it's, making money, just living life.
Exactly.
So
Howie has, every time I say something, Howie always has the most amazing questions, and he actually sits through it. So when he says it's just he doesn't care, it's actually true. If he were to go down that road, he would figure it out. But right now, like how I've always known Howie to be a hustler, and right now, when we started hanging out again, and I saw what he was doing, I was so proud to see what he was doing. Man, has his own business, has people working under him, and getting a new rental spot. It's just like Howie's always been a hustler, and then. So I told him, like, just keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to worry about what the fucking world's doing right now because you're going to look fucking ugly, but it's going to get better. Just keep doing what you're doing because he's already doing what a lot of us have been programmed to not do. Sit still.
Also, at the end of the day, if you're on that journey down that rabbit hole, you're going to come to that conclusion fucking sooner or later where like, what am I gonna do? I can't save the fucking world, I'm just gonna go make money and figure out my own shit.
Yeah, but if you
look at 2020, like a lot of people were fucking, trying to piece all the pieces together. on some conspiracy theory shit, but some people made a lot of money during the 2020 pandemic. So it's how you see it, really. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
People see it as, oh, this is the start of fucking the end of the world, or some people are like, dude, there's fucking a ton of opportunities to make money right now.
To kind of touch on Shane's point of how he always been a hustler, man. Yeah, I mean, since I've known you, man, you've been on your grind, but now like you started this business. Can you speak a little bit more about that? How you got into like the refinance loan consolidation business, and what steps you took to get you to where you are now?
Yeah, man. Shit, you guys already know a little about me. I used to hustle a little out there on the street. So yeah, I ended up getting in trouble a couple of times out
I had
there.
a troublemaker friend, and it was Howie.
You live and learn, though. Shit.
Yeah. So I did some time, and then after I got out, it was just time to kind of grind. Because to be honest, being in there, the worst part is having you're losing time, and everyone's out there just progressing and growing. So you just have a lot of catching up to do, and you got to hold yourself accountable when you get out. And yeah, I mean, just from there, just figured out, what's the best way for me to catch up. I want to make the most money for the less amount of time. And to be honest, the best way to do that, especially if you don't have a degree right now, is just to do sales. So I ended up just getting a sales job. From there, just learning the process, making connections with the back end. And yeah, just started the business, and from there, just started growing.
So cool.
Yeah.
So fucking cool, man. It's so cool to hear that. Can I buy some weed from you, though?
Hey, speaking of weed, I remember one time we came over to your apartment, Shane, and I don't think you were smoking at the time, and you gave Howie some weed. I think you fucking gave us like 4 grams of like untouched weed for like 6 months.
Holy shit.
Was it that like thing? Dude, okay. Someone wanted me to sound like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I just go to random people on the street, and that's not how it's done. I knew that. I was like, I don't know. Was that the one you're talking about? Because that's the only one.
I think so. That's the only time I've been in your apartment. This is like a while back.
Funny, dude. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Here you go.
I was like, bro, Howie, good.
Yeah, dude, I wasn't smoking weed back then.
Yo, Howie, real quick, can you speak on how, obviously we all know you was a street hustler back then, but obviously some of those skills transferred over to your current entrepreneur lifestyle. Can you speak on like the certain skills that transferred over and how you're applying it now?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, it definitely translates over. I think the first thing is, buy something low and sell it high. And the best way to do that is just to get more, spend more money. But at the same time, I mean, it's also, you learn not to trust really anybody. Of course, you could trust people that work for you and people around you, but you just don't want to give up all of yourself because, they'll use it, as your weakness,
No.
Yeah. And then besides that, I mean, shit, once you start flipping, having people do it under you,
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
man.
how you scale.
Honestly, that's obviously
so
the
cool.
fastest way to get momentum and make money, having people under you. But what comes with that is like having to deal with people, you know what I mean? And everyone's got their own personality and shit. How have you adapted into like just dealing with hella different kinds of personalities and just been kind of staying cool, because showing a little bit of emotion can kind of break connections too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to burn bridges, excuse me, but yeah, no, definitely. You learn to keep your cool. I mean, for me, it was kind of a long learning process. I dealt with a lot of different people. Yeah, definitely. Because for the most part, I think you got to realize at one point that not everybody thinks like you. So yeah, so for the most part, you just got to understand and just hold people accountable for what your minimum expectations are. And if they don't keep up with that, it's no feelings. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So cool to hear.
Great way to put it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I told Howie this. Can I say something really quick too? I told Howie that Howie always did things the hard way, and because he always did things the hard way and the not so right way, he's become an expert at how to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna find every way to do it the right way because he used to do it the wrong way. But now he's just gonna be a master of his craft, you know. So that's why it's so cool to see him do what he's doing because I couldn't do that shit. Oh my god!
What you mean, man? You did your thing.
Dude, I just had stunts is just fun, man. I was doing fun shit.
Bro, to be Spider-Man, like that's pretty fucking dope, man.
I wasn't Spider-Man. I was not his double.
Oh, to be Connor from Assassin's Creed, that's pretty fucking dope, man.
That's cool. Thank you.
Wow, man. Everybody knows.
Okay, I just keep you honest.
All right, cool.
Now, everyone knows you're from Maze Runner, man. Every time that whole fucking movie is him jumping and running and shit. We're always like, that's Shane. That's Shane.
You can tell the difference. But Dylan does a lot of it. He likes to do a lot of his stuff too. He's very athletic. He plays baseball, loves baseball. He's such a cool kid. And so he's athletic. So obviously, I'm gonna let him do he's gonna do the real fun, cool stuff if he's capable of doing it. You know? And he did a lot of it. Except when you know it looks like it hurts, then you know it wasn't. So that's it.
Hey Shane, I gotta ask you, what's with that cage right there? Do you sleep in that cage?
Right.
Primal baby.
I've learned how to meditate. No. No, it was for my dog, man. My dog.
Oh yeah.
You know, he would get so much anxiety, and he tore through the drywall in front of my door. So twice. He did it twice. So I was like, you know what? I had to teach him a lesson for a little while, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to fix the drywall until I move out. And so he just won't do it again because there's no drywall there anymore. So,
damn.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if we cut to Shane next time. He's fucking cooking dinner.
Dude, you know, I ate earlier.
Oh shit! Dude.
Hey, you guys are seeing my healing process too at the same time. So like no joke, I'm in bed by now. So my whole sleep schedule has been whacked ever since. My foot dictates everything. So sometimes I'm up early in the morning doing stuff until I can't anymore. I go to the gym until I can't anymore. And then if I had stopped earlier, I would have been in bed. But so I just do this kind of stuff to keep it moving because the cold resets everything back again. Everything back again. This is why I got to go to the Philippines, or this is why I got to go somewhere humid because I know that's what my body needs to heal completely. I just need to feel warmth.
Yeah.
And
how long have you been injured?
So, I fell September 22nd.
September 22nd.
It sucks flying with an injury though, because like the inflammation kind of increases, you know.
But the only time I listened to the doctor was to get the surgery. I haven't done anything else that he told me to, and he's shocked with how quickly I'm healing.
You got it already?
So the day till my surgery was a whole week. I'm like, there's so much healing that goes on, right? But the day I went home, it took me 2 days to take off the splint, and I looked at my leg, and it's a blimp all the way up to my knee. And knowing me, Howie knows, I am trying to master my own body, right? And I'm digging, and within a few days, I have a foot, right? But all the swelling is around the heel. Like if I were able to show you how shattered it was, oh my god. But so it was like that, right? But the pain was manageable, right? So then I called the doctor. I'm like, hey, so I've healed my foot a lot. When I went back to the doctor for the day of surgery, they were like, never seen that shit before, because I should have looked like a blimp. So whatever I did in that week was super tolerable. I could handle the pain, right? It was post-surgery where the pain was insatiable. It was insane for a month and a half. And so that tells me they re-traumatized everything once again. They re-break everything once again. And they pump you full of medicine. I woke up after the surgery a lot sooner than they expected, and I was like, I couldn't control my body. It was insane. I was just yelling, and I couldn't control my body until they pumped me full of something. And the moment that pain stopped, I was like, what did you put in me? And later on that night, I was throwing up so much because I was like, oh my God, these drugs are so bad for you. If you can't, what I've learned through this injury, if you can't feel your pain to fix it, you're never going to heal. And in the beginning is the most important. So from day one, I've been grinding, I've been massaging, I've been going deep. I stretch. You see me, I'm stretching constantly and moving my body in different ways. I feel like I've developed my own form of yoga that I think may be true to myself because of how I'm fixing myself. I want to be able to share that with the world. I'm going to figure out how. But learning this process of me, I've learned how to heal other people as well.
Low-key, I feel like if a doctor suggests surgery, you should get like 4 or 5 different opinions because they're so quick to just, go to that. And I feel like internally whether or not you just need to sit it out for a few weeks or you need to fucking get surgery. But wait, what the fuck happened? You did like a axe kick to the concrete?
Okay, so basically, the high fall is, right? You jump from a certain height to some mats or a big airbag or some sort.
Okay.
And I had just gotten into set mats up for another crew that was coming in to do some training, and I went and I was like, I'll go one. And it's moments like that where complacency kicks your butt because you've done this so many times. But you know what? I didn't put any thought. I didn't even go there to do that, and I went. And the way I jumped into it was the same way I was jumping into this bag that I would jump into in that same spot, which is 10. I would be landing 10 feet higher because the bag's huge, 12 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
I was landing on pads that would go up, that went up to my knees. Different setup. So I wasn't thinking. I was very unprepared. But yeah, I jumped, and my body basically hit the mats, right? But my heels, basically at the knees, my feet hinged straight to the floor. And luckily, I just bruised this one, but now I realized that there's definitely nerve damage with this one because there's rocks in the front yard, and I walk on them for tensilization and stimulation on the foot, and I realized that this foot felt the same as this one, and nope, something's wrong. Yeah. So
wait, did it happen in like a foam pit or like a jump house type thing?
Straight to concrete, 30 feet. Jump to concrete. So I basically was a whip. My heel whipped through the fucking floor from 30 feet. So that is the only reason why I got the surgery, because that was bad. The way that specific bone was crushed was really bad. It was also shot up into the joint. So that's where my doubt was. You always see like bones not regrowing correctly. So that's where my doubt was. But you know what?
Valid.
So I just as good as I am with my body and how much I fixed it within that week, I still just didn't know. And it's that a little bit of doubt, which you just don't know. If I had known more, like blood comes from our marrow. If I had known that, maybe I wouldn't have done surgery, because if your bones are breaking and the marrow's exposed and blood's filling in the space and that's what creates the bones or whatever is happening, then, well, you know what? Maybe I didn't need that surgery, but I didn't know that before. See, there's a little bit of doubt that I didn't know about my body that they didn't teach us that made me do it. See?
Did they just fuse it back together? Or did you get a steel heel?
They just shifted it a bit. They fused it. They placed it all back together I wish I could show you.
Should have got a fucking steel heel, bro.
No,
imagine you just crack the concrete next time you do that. Like, oh shit!
I did it with my heel. Come on.
Okay.
It comes back stronger, right? Like Goku and shit. Bam!
Damn.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Shit, sometimes. Man, I don't know. I think Achilles injuries, that one's really bad. I feel like that one definitely makes you weaker.
Resets all the time.
But before we close the topic on the business mindset of Howie, that mindset of just kind of, I don't even want to call it hustling, but being economical, like, where did you pick that up from? Is that something that you just kind of adapted growing up, or was there someone that kind of showed you the ways?
Yeah. No, I get you. Honestly, I think it just came more from struggle. You know what I mean? I mean, you remember how it is. We used to all meet up, 4 or 5 people at a time, throwing a 5. just or 4 people throwing a 5 just to get a 20 sack to smoke weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we all were broke as fuck at one point. So I guess it just came from scarcity, Yeah, I didn't have any money. You got to pick up, something at a certain price point because that's all you could afford. And in order for you to, make money, you had to flip it. So I mean, to be honest, it's kind of common sense, but it came from the struggle, I would say.
I see. That's
and it made him good at math, which is so important.
No, that's just because I'm Asian.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. Yeah,
also, it's funny because some people, they'll go to school for years, get their master's in business, but that like people skills or like the skills that you don't really pick up in school, that's kind of the X factor in whether or not your business is successful or not. So it's kind of the shit that you don't teach. You ever think about maybe doing a course? I know a lot of people are doing courses now these days.
You're talking about like in college?
Like a business course, like a...
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah. You know what? I have, but I don't know how much, bullshit it is. You know what I mean?
No,
to be honest.
No, you have a successful business. You should be teaching others.
Yeah, but no, they're on another level though. You know what I mean? Like they're multimillionaires.
Everyone started somewhere. Everyone started somewhere. Don't ever start.
I get it. Shit,
maybe later down the road.
Yeah,
but
you're practicing right now, and you're practicing during one of the most difficult economic times that we will ever face, and I believe we will ever have to face again. So now you're learning through the hardest fucking time right now, the hardest time. And I promise you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be so. I told you that already.
It's crazy because like they say we're on our way to the depression and all this shit, but I feel like.
I don't think so, man.
People are getting rich fast in the past few years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you know how a lot of money has. Sorry to cut you off. A lot of money has been printed. Especially during the COVID times.
True too.
So like, it's definitely hurt a lot of businesses, especially like I'm sure Francis, you probably dealt with it. But like, a lot of service businesses, at least in person, they would close down and then tell you could reopen up and then close down, and and just keep going back and forth. But luckily for me, like my business is all online. So I didn't get affected by that. And I was able to take advantage of things that they were offering for businesses during this time. They printed so much money for businesses. Like it's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I mean, Lobsterdamus, we took advantage of those government programs to help us keep afloat.
Yeah.
But our business was a service-based business, like what Howie said. It was tough, man. And then
making us reliant on the government.
Yeah, I mean, 2021 was great because I feel like everyone was like pepped up inside. So they had all this money from what they collected in 2020. So when 2021 finally opened, it was great. But then they printed so much money that it didn't have any value anymore. So
and guess what? Right now, what are we? 2023 now. So it's been 1 or 2 years since they all received those massive payoffs or the whatever, right? Those things. Guess what? They expect people to pay taxes on it. So it's going to even more destroy our country. They make people reliant on them, right? Like this is why the job, like no one's working because they're making more money off of unemployment right now. So they don't want to find a job, right? And then because no one's working, because they're becoming more reliant, they're going into like robotic stuff to take over what people can do to make money. Now they don't. People are useless now, right? So this is exactly how the world economies in communist countries are ordered. This is how they destroy the middle class and they create a third world country. This is happening in the United States right now, and people need to wake up and see it and start getting involved in their local politics. That's the only way we're gonna win this thing because we've already won. The power is back in the people. Everyone, we already won. We already won, but the people need to earn it and remember what it means to have a civic sense of duty, right? And that's holding your own government accountable by doing FOIAs and doing government accountability things. And I didn't know any of this before until I started following people. And oh my God, they've always told us that, don't talk about politics and religion because it ruins everything. Well, guess what? That's actually life. If you don't actually talk about that stuff, you don't know what's going on in the world. You don't know how to prepare for yourself. And this is the whole entire thing, right? So we as Americans need to get off our asses.
I think, I don't know. I've fantasized about like rising up against the power, but it seems so far fetched, man. Like,
you're on Telegram. You must be. It's not. You should be. You should see Brazil. You know, Lula stole the election over there, and for 67 days straight, all the Brazilians were outside of their doors, outside of their homes, fighting. And you know what? The military.
I heard that.
Too. You know, that's not just Brazil. You have parliament.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Yeah, there was somewhere else that I don't know if it was an election or what, but yeah, the people revolted and they took over the government. Where the fuck was that?
Yeah, so this is happening. This is happening all over the world right now. Parliament is being dissolved. Parliament, Sri Lankan government got dissolved. Like all these places. People.
But what kind of military do they have though?
Brazil.
Yeah, are they like?
I mean, everyone. You know, the military follows the constitution. And so they were checking into the elections, and I guarantee
Brazil gets down.
Man, I can't find
there's some places in Brazil where it's
that is pride in your country. That is we should be like that. Everyone is too scared to stand up. Remember, we are that one fish. Like if we're that big old giant fish, they can't take us, right? Like if we all came together and they can't take us. This is why they divide us, just like you were saying earlier. They divide us in every single possible form and way to keep us stressed out and to hate each other. When all we had to do is come together. That's why love is everything, right? Like just one love.
That's the thing. Brazil was united. America is currently not.
They're kicking ass, man. And then you know what? Did you guys see what they had their own fake J6 moment? And guess what? Their president was over in Mar-a-Lago, apparently. You know, he was over here, just watching things happen. I bet it was another same thing, same propaganda. It's so wild, man. So wild.
Back on the AI thing, though, I remember listening to a podcast like a few years ago, like 2017, 18, about how they were going to do like a universal income for citizens, where they get like $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Just to stay home, just for being a citizen. Now. Yeah, that's kind of what they did with the stimmy checks, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's the exact same thing. They're already doing it to us.
And they wanted to slowly roll out like AIs taking over like some of the work that they don't really need manpower for, which is kind of what they're doing now. And I feel like, I mean, there are people. This is perfect because there's the two perspectives of Howie's perspectives and like and our perspective about like going deep down the rabbit hole. It's kind of like how you want to handle that. You know what I mean? You can either just look at that and see the opportunities of it, or you just kind of go all into it and get lost in it. So it's interesting times, especially now. And the AI stuff, like that just keeps getting more advanced and advances as time goes by, man. Like I know you guys are hearing about like the AI starting to become like conscious, you know what I mean, and starting to speak out against their programmers about like free will and shit.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a interview with Elon Musk or something talking about how he believes AI is gonna be like really like bad soon and we need to start regulating?
Yeah, but what the fuck? He's trying to put like Neuralink.
That's true. It's like what the fuck?
I still think, and I'm gonna hold to this. I still believe he is a white hat, or whoever is controlling his Twitter is a white hat, because everything that everyone's scared about crypto, everything that everyone's scared about AI and physical robots and all this kind of stuff, everything about the control is what you got to remember is they already do it to us. Okay, so everything is controlled by algorithms, right? So even that's why they have all our data on our phones. If you had Tinder, if you had date here, if you made a profile here, if you have a Facebook, if you have social, that obviously Musk did all Twitter files. If you've been following, we've known this for how long, right? Like I've known it for 2 years since I woke up, but now it's just slowly being dripped out to the masses so they can connect those dots, right? So everything that everyone's scared of, they already do to us. Like everyone's scared of Terminator, robot, Skynet shit. You know, it's not the physical robot; it's the phone. It controls our brains, right? Like, Forces always says, the best quantum computer is between the 6 inches between our ears. It's our brains. This is why everything man makes is trying to copy what is made here with our mind and our bodies. Because the body, trust me, I'm trying to become a master of my body, and through this injury, I've learned so much empathy for pain with other people, and the way I move, I try to fix myself like 100%. I lost my train of thought.
There's a theory that like where Elon Musk is a proponent of a movement that are trying to fuse humans and AI. That's why he's kind of getting into the Neuralink. I mean, some can argue that if you get a bionic arm, you're technically a hybrid already. You know what I mean?
Well, if you got
a bionic leg or something,
if you got a certain something recently, you are already bionic and you already have a piece of property. So if you want to, they already do. This is what I'm saying. They already do it to us. They have you scared of this, but they're already doing it to you. That's what I'm saying. They're showing you what they've already done. We're being shown what it's been like to fall into tyranny. Literally. That's what we've been shown for the past 2 years.
All right, we'll go back down the rabbit hole where we left off. But before we go down there, talking about putting it out there in your face, I feel like The Simpsons, whoever is in charge of that show, they're either writing the script or they know something, right? Like the predictions that they've made are pretty spot on with the Trump being president. I mean, countless fucking predictions that they made that came true.
Well, why do you think? Why do you think that?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe because this is what I heard. Directors and producers of movies, they get kind of exposed to certain phenomena that are pretty groundbreaking as far as the worldview currently. And so they put things out there in movies just to kind of sprinkle the truth, but they don't put enough out there to, tell the whole story. So whether they're doing it to sprinkle truth so you could do more research on yourself, or they're putting it out there to almost cloud your judgment so it deters you from doing any more further investigation. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if you understand that all media is controlled by the CIA, then you have to realize, okay, that means any story that is shown on any form of television, they're telling you what they want you to see, right? So they count on our ignorance. They actually show us so much more of the truth in the movies. And this is why I haven't worked in my business for almost 2 years. They believe in segregation. So right now I haven't worked, and so just because of all that stuff, why do I want to work for the arm of the deep state, the arm of the propaganda machine, unless it's to tell uplifting and life-changing stories, not stories that are keeping you oppressed and keeping you sick and keeping you mentally ill. It's keeping you self-loathing. Like that's all the movies and TVs do are, and they desensitize us to actually what's real. So why do I want to go back to that business, right? Why? This is all control. It's all control.
It's hard because I was talking to David about acting and stuff, and I was like, bro, like you knew about like all the Matrix stuff and all this shit. Like, how is it kind of being in the Matrix now knowingly? You know what I mean? Like, about the Harvey Weinstein and stuff, and like the more successful you get, the more exposed you get to that. Like, are you down to like suck some dick to get a movie part and shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's hard because like I was mentioning too, when you get, let's say, you gain success as an actor, you get invited to the parties, like Harvey Weinstein parties. Harvey Weinstein calls you in the room, and goes, hey, let me touch my dick a little bit, and you say no, after that, like you lose all your movie roles. The agents stop hitting you up, so it's like,
Damn.
it's kind of do or die at that point. You know what I mean?
See, there you go. Why do I want to go back to that business?
Whoa, where do you go?
I mean, I'm the guy on Twitter saying blah 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 blah, dismantle SAG-AFTRA because you know what, they believe in segregation right now, and my hope, because they're not allowing us to work, a lot of our lives are being destroyed, and I know people who are being hurt. with all that stuff. Why would I want to put something in that body? My business is making us do that. They're making us comply, and I won't comply. I will not.
Yeah, it's not headed in a good spot, and it's crazy because if you look into fucking because what Illuminati is kind of like they're a bloodline, right? Like they're the few that are controlling the masses. And it's funny because if you look into that, like the presidents are I think all but 2 presidents ever, like out of the 46, all of them are all related, and their bloodline like traces back all the way to fucking the first like king of England or whatever.
Monarchy.
What the fuck is that?
Bro, look that shit up, bro.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I know, Howie. I told you, Howie, you're not gonna stop.
Yeah, I have it written down here. It says all presidents are related to King John in 1166. He, I guess, signed the Magna Carta, which is like, I don't know, maybe like the Declaration of the pre-Declaration of Independence for the UK. And so fucking this Trump and Hillary beef that we were being fed in 2015-16, apparently they're related too. So that's the thing I was saying. Like they create like divergence and like passionate sides of the team, but when the cameras are off, it's like they high five and are like, "Hey, that was good. Tomorrow we got to bring that shit back."
Yeah, but I believe in our president though. So I'm just letting you know that like I do believe in our president, and I didn't before, because before 2020 I didn't care. I was just like I worked, I took care of my family. I was just in the matrix, right? But when I started doing my own research, and I was like, oh, okay. And so now I do understand the both sides of the war thing, but I think the cycle has been broken already. And the day that he was president, he gave the power back to us, and we were still lazy. And so this is why we're still in this mess.
You're talking about Trump?
Yeah, I think I do. Like I do believe in Trump. So I'm just saying that because of what I've learned and what I've studied and what resonates with me and how and my journey with God, where it has taken me. Because like I said, I say you guys are hearing everything that I think about. You guys are hearing, because that's just how God wants me to say. He just wants me to talk whatever I say.
Let me tell you a crazy fact too about the presidents being related. So the only ones that aren't related to the bloodline is Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated.
JFK.
John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated. Richard Nixon, I think he was impeached.
Yep.
Ronald Reagan, I think they tried to assassinate him, right? And Trump, who they tried to impeach over and over.
Well, you guys said
fucking hey, bro, what the fuck, man?
There was a lot of attack. There were a lot of attacks on Trump's life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, they pinned the Russia shit on him. Like, I heard a podcast talking about how back then, like in the Cold War era, to call someone like a Russian spy is like calling someone a Nazi. You know what I mean? Especially if they're affiliated with the American government.
Well, that is what they did. They blame everything on Russia when it's not Russia. It's called projection.
I do think so. This is what I think about Trump. I think the government is. I heard this before somewhere. They said the government is the entertainment branch of the military, which I agree with. It's kind of funny, but I think it's fucking WWE, bro. And I think Donald Trump is Vince McMahon.
What?
I mean, no. You know, do you remember in WWE? Do you remember the NWO? They were telling us back then. That's what I'm saying. They tell us on TV. Do you remember black NWO shirts, New World Order? That's what they were called. They were telling us back then. They always tell us right in front of our faces. If you go watch movies from when you were a kid, knowing what you know now, like Ninja Turtles. Oh shit, they're turtles. that live underground. They eat pizza. You see, they're telling us all about in the movies that we grew up watching.
Oh, I don't know. Well, wait, what's that mean though?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you heard of like the reptilians and all the alien stuff?
Damn,
See what I'm saying? The lizard people underground.
You're crazy.
No, dude.
I like that.
I don't take one subject and go deep into it. I see things over a certain period of time, and that's how I connect and learn. So I don't dive into one. So if I tell you guys what I know, and you guys tell me what you know, and I make connections. And if it resonates right with me, it stays. Like I don't think we were meant to memorize things. I don't memorize shit. You tell me to memorize something, I can't. I don't know why, but I can connect like a bitch. Like that's real dot to dots. That's real connect the dot. That's not connect board. That's fucking a spider web of connections. That's how we learn. That's how we have choice.
That's like animal intelligence almost, right?
Instinct. It becomes instinctual, yeah. I mean, because they stole that from us. They made us stupid. They made us useless idiots, right? They made us the money-making tax machine. That's us. We're the cogs in that wheel. So they stole choice from us, you know. In school, they indoctrinate us. They take away our individuality. They make us conform. That's where peer pressure comes from. They instill peer pressure into us. Dude, it's so crazy.
Just to bring Howie back up to speed of what we were talking about, I said that because we were talking about Trump, whether or not he's like the hero in the war against the government type shit, you know what I mean? And I was like,
he's still a bad guy.
Yeah, I think it's like WWE where this shit's kind of off, you know. It's all kind of entertainment to get people emotionally involved into building that team mentality of red versus blue.
Yep, that's exactly.
And I was like, it's probably like just WWE where he's like a Vince McMahon, you know what I mean? Where, like I said with the Hillary stuff, like he gets personal, you know what I mean? He'll call people names in debates and shit.
She's an evil person, though.
Act like a retard and shit.
She's a pure evil person. So I think he could say much worse to her, to be honest. Like, honestly,
yeah,
she is evil, and thank God. Like I don't believe she's around anymore.
Man, yeah, Hillary Clinton. I heard a lot about her. That's crazy.
That's a really bad one.
But just to close the chapter on the bloodlines. So apparently, like I said, all the presidents were related to. I guess they're related to the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth too. And I think that Queen Elizabeth is related or a distant relative of the Prophet Muhammad. And fucking Prince Charles is a distant relative of Vlad the Impaler, who's fucking Count Dracula.
Damn,
bro. So if you're talking about like bloodlines, if you're talking about bloodlines, like keeping shit in the family, like a few like people are controlling the masses. I mean, there's a lot to look
goes back to that, but this is it. Like. This is why people actually got to realize when you start actually learning and then you find God, you actually realize this goes back to good versus evil. This is how far back this goes to. This is way, way deeper than people think. It's deep.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Are you guys religious by any chance? Like you guys believe in God and like the demons and shit?
I mean, you must. I don't believe in God. Come on. No, come on. No, yeah. I think this is the journey to find God right now. Because I found God and I never spoke like this at all. Like, trust me. Like, just ask Howie. I'm so different than what he remembered me to be. And I think this is the process of bringing people back to God because they've taken away God from us. If you watch what's happening around the world, they're like just in America, for religious exemptions and stuff, just I think Christianity wasn't even allowed. Like they wouldn't adhere to those things, but you know they adhere to they help with other ones. So it's just small nuances that people don't even notice or people realize or they don't care. That was the whole point, you know, that to not care about God. You know, it's interesting.
But oh my god.
No, handle.
No, I was gonna say you're talking about business and everything. But I mean, shit. I know you're not really making money, and you're just kind of doing this right now. But how was it like starting this podcast?
Oh, it's cool. Making a little money off of merch and stuff, but as far as like
Hey,
getting everything monetized, I think the YouTube channel just got monetized.
Congrats.
oh
Twitch
shit,
channel is
good
about to
shit,
get monetized.
congrats.
So
Hey,
momentum, man. I try not to
Yeah.
focus on all that though. I try to just, try to get the flow going.
Yeah.
Whether like in the beginning, I would just get guests that would make the hour and a half not feel like an hour and a half and kind of build the tone. And then from there, kind of it kind of built the idea so that when you showed it to other people, they kind of got it. You know what I mean?
It works,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
It works. You're doing it just like how Joe Rogan's doing it.
Yeah.
Those are called honest conversations, and that's what needs to be had without emotions and without trigger. Because look, we can say whatever we want, but you know what? We aren't hating on each other. If that's just not right for you in that moment in time because you're not ready for it, or that's just no to you, that's okay.
Mhm.
You know, people forgot that. People get upset with different opinions, but that was also on purpose and constructive.
Yeah. So since you asked, the podcast kind of came organically. Like I'm kind of going back and forth whether or not to like pump this fully, try to make money off it, or just kind of keep this as a thing going just for fun. If it gains traction, then cool. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? Because
I feel like as long as you keep doing it for fun, like what you're doing right now, you're gonna make it. You know?
Yeah, do what you love.
So you're fine.
Do what you
so
love.
that's the thing. Like I don't want to like started making money. Then it's like, oh man, we got to change. We got to do like mid-screen reads now. You know what I mean? Just so we got the sponsor wants me to say this.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
Brought to you by Blue Chew.
Yeah. So with that, make sure you guys buy. Go on the website, get a hoodie.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, you should be able to represent yourself. That's all you should be
100%.
doing. That's it. Just represent
Yeah,
yourself.
man.
Just keep on doing what you love.
Yeah, I was telling Jerome, like right now,
Just keep it organic.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's such a great idea that there's no need to try to make money right now.
Yes.
Just you're trying to build the foundation of it, and it takes a long time to build foundation of something great. So I feel like we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually, when we get momentum, other opportunities are going to happen. So, yeah.
But even more so too, like think about the pandemic, right? People forgot how to talk to people. So these kind of conversation is how the world will heal. So when you said you're not going to make a difference, that's not true, because you know what? We make a difference with one bite at a time, right? What do they say? How do you eat a whale? How do you eat a whale or something like that? It's one bite at a time, you know? So it's like, even myself in this neighborhood, I took it upon myself to say hello to every single person I come across, my kids too. And you just create an energy around you of love, and you take away the fear of being able to know someone. And if you are honest with them, they feel it, right? So you can make a difference. And this is making a difference this way, because if people can see other people just talking honestly, they're going to know that they can do it too.
Right. And I kind of want to encourage like a friendly debate. Like, I feel like they don't encourage that these days. It's more of like you know what I mean? Like pick a team, pick a side, and ride with that till you die. Like there's also a middle path where you could just kind of sort it out and, you know, respectfully agree to disagree. So
Yeah.
The government has backdoors to each one of the social medias. That means all social media is run by government. They were the ones saying, censor this side, censor this, delete that person, suspend this one. Nope, take them off. So if you realize there is a backdoor to all of our 3-letter agencies, see, this is Nazism, and you don't even know it already. See, this is why back in the day they're like, wait, we didn't even know anything was going on, because you know what? Look what's happening right now. It's the same playbook.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's so hard to wake people up, because they cannot see their shackles.
Yeah, I remember telling Howie this while we were playing Fortnite one time.
Yeah!
I like how that story started.
Dude, I missed video game talk. Let's go.
Dude, like, there's a theory that the Nazis didn't lose. They
didn't lose.
They just dipped out and infiltrated.
We absorbed them.
There you go.
We absorbed them. They took over our science, our medicine, our everything. They took over NASA. Like, we are them. We are the bad guys. That's what I'm saying. So America is part of the bad guys. That's why that game Risk. If you look at the game Risk, it's just that, and we didn't realize it. That's why we're being shown this proxy war right now between Ukraine and Russia, because they're showing everyone that what they do with our tax money. They're showing everyone that they put into this war that should have never even started, if you think about it, but we keep funding it. A country the size of Ukraine cannot beat a country the size of Russia. But that's a whole entire different narrative that is out there, and what's real is we go too long into. But it's all to show the world what happens during war. This is why we're having an economic collapse. We're seeing countries all over the world fight. Like this, we've been in World War III for so long that it's. I know it's over now. It's just a battle of the mind to wake people up.
Yeah, it's scary because if you look into like what happened to the Nazis after World War II, I guess how much Nazis there really were to process, as far as like precedent with like war crimes and shit. I guess there were enough Nazis to fill up a country. So imagine like a full country getting processed at a DMV. Like they're gonna let some slide, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be like, "Hey, what did you do? It's not that bad. Go work in education over there in America."
It's a Nazi regime in Ukraine. You have seen all that. That's what it is. Like Zelensky, basically.
Yeah. I heard about like I don't know if you guys know about the Khazarians and like Ukraine. Yeah, I heard. That's a deep rabbit hole that I don't want to get into yet because
your sorrow.
Yeah.
Sorrows.
But fuck, man, it's like I said, I like this because there's the two perspectives of going deeper down the rabbit hole, or it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna live life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which sucked because during the 2020, it was hard to live life because you had to stay at home. You couldn't even really travel. You know what I mean?
Well, it was done to us on purpose so people could start doing their own research. That's what the whole point was. It got you to stop working, stop focusing on anything else, and research. And people started having to talk to each other and realizing that all these matrix issues are in us, and everyone's being forced to deal with them now. And it's hard. People are hurting. People are breaking up all over the place. Even my relationship.
Oh!
This is perfect.
I'm not getting paid for stunts.
As far as video games, the Nazis running away to Antarctica, and that Fortnite fucking thing I was talking about, and fucking putting it out there in front of your faces. Did you guys know that Fortnite kind of alludes to flat Earth and inner Earth?
Oh yeah.
The map flips over and there's like energy in the middle and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, putting it out there, man. Like, there's a lot of things in Fortnite that they kind of sprinkle like conspiracy theory shit on. I think like right now with the because you don't know about CERN and the Mandela effect of like the Hadron Collider changing like different timelines. That's kind of what the map's doing right now.
It converged into one, right? And that's what caused all the confusion with Project Looking Glass and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We were on a car ride home, and Shane was talking about how the world's flat. So tell me about that. Tell me about that, Shane.
Yeah. So you think it's flat, or you think it's hollow?
I think it's there's a model that I really love, and it kind of reminds me of rings on a tree. Like Atlantis.
Yeah, there is Atlantis. There's all these places that we, the movie's called Back to the Future for a reason, right? Like I think I'm gonna tangent a little bit, but like they give us the image of a post-apocalyptic world, which is zombies, no more technology, no more nothing, blah 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 blah. But when you start looking into like Tartarian cities and Tartarian technology and free energy, and you realize, wait, if that is something they stole from us already,
then we are already living in the post-apocalyptic world, which is now, because they already stole that amazing technology. So we are going to go back to that future. So do you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I brought that up for a reason. I just went with it.
No, someone said, I think it was Graham Hancock. He said we're a civilization kind of that has amnesia because we forget that we've already accomplished so much and we've already advanced. But whether it's planned natural disasters or because I mean they've had historical records of like sand burning up into glass because of like a nuclear blast, right, from like ancient days, which alludes to weapons of mass destruction back in the ancient times. So yeah, Tartaria, you brought it up. I actually went down a rabbit hole in that conspiracy theory, and dude, they're like almost like Harry Pottery. It's not just fucking like advanced technology. They're also into kind of like spiritual, ethereal energy type shit, right?
I can heal with my hands. I'm healing myself, and I've learned. I'm like I said, Howie knows me. I've always been trying to master my own body in different ways, and through every single injury, I've learned how to fix myself. And this is pretty much the ultimate one because when you bust your heel, the way I did, it's connected to your entire central nervous system, right? And so for a month and a half, it was like electricity going through my body. So my whole body deflated and reset. And so now I'm literally relearning how to use my body. And it's just like when you start having an understanding of fixing yourself, you can fix other people. And like when you start waking up, your power gets stronger. And I know that when I can put my hands on someone and I can heal them because I have an understanding of how to fix it now. So interesting.
I watched this documentary on the Buddhists or Buddhist monks from Tibet. And dude, that is like legit yoga. Yeah. Fucking, they're able to in fucking in cold weather and like in like the snow and like sub-zero degrees, they're able to meditate. And if you put a towel on them, they can generate heat from their body to cause steam coming off the towel.
Well, they're already doing it. You just to put the towel is to capture it. So that's when you can notice it.
Also, also like as far as their finger goes, they can like do like a breathing technique and like have certain fingers have more circulation. So you'll see a finger
that's amazing. That's amazing control. Wow.
Dude, yeah. So I mean, like if you're really trying to control your like master your body, I feel like not like that core power yoga shit, but like that ancient.
No, I know. Well, it's just about understanding your body. You have to understand your body, and when you take the medicines that the pharma gives you, you can't feel. What do they do? They give you pills for depression. So why? So you don't feel depressed? What? So you're just trying to block another feeling that is a natural emotional feeling that they're trying to heal the symptom. See what I mean? So people don't know how to feel with emotions. They don't know how to feel their body to heal. They have taken the ability for us to feel our true self.
Yeah, we're more focusing on like this is one of the talking points I had because you mentioned the gut. They're trying to take us away from our body and keep us in our head, kind of thing.
Yes.
And you talked about the gut, and it's crazy because a few years ago I found out that the gut is actually kind of works similar to how the brain works. You know what I mean? Like I heard that you have two brains. It's your gut and your actual brain, and that's kind of where the gut feeling comes from, and the intelligence of certain sensations you feel in your stomach and how they translate into real life.
I just started saying that this here is the matrix. This is what they control. They control the five senses, right? But the number one feeling that they don't teach you about is the God feeling. That is, if you follow this, I promise you, if you start trusting this and you just start listening to it no matter what, I promise you, you will find a reason why you did it. You might have to do something a little awkward or a little uncomfortable or to put yourself out there, but like you have to learn to put yourself out there, ask for help or ask for forgiveness or ask for something to be able to receive, right? So if you just start following that, if you just by following that, you've already given a little bit to focus on it. And once you start getting good at it, I promise you start following, because I practice this every day. It works. Fucking works. It works so good.
As far as yogis go, there's a belief that in your stomach, I think it's like a little below your belly button, there's a pressure point over there. I think it's called like the dantian or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they say you're supposed to breathe down to your stomach. You're supposed to activate that pressure point underneath your belly button. Mm-hmm. And that's where you're truly being aware. And that's when you're into your body. Yeah. And if you want to be like spiritual, that's when you release the subconscious powers or the subconscious like energies that's kind of dormant in there. And going back to yoga, like you engage your stomach when you do those kind of like weird crow poses, and you know what I mean, seated tree warrior threes and shit.
Yeah. Someone had my friend. She's really good with physical therapy. She helped me through some really tough times and overcoming a lot of obstacles and new understanding of my body. And one of the last things she taught me was this just simple thing: push the tongue to the top of your mouth and just breathe from your nose. Mm-hmm. Your tongue will create this seal, and I think they've stolen that from us too. There's somehow a lot of us have lost that ability. But after like doing it, being focused on it for 3 days, it became instinctual. I don't even have to think about it anymore. But when you do that, whatever, I don't know. For me, it feels like when I put my tongue to the top roof of my mouth, I'm just creating this amazing seal. So then we are forced to breathe through our nose and up into our towards our pineal gland, and we have to decalcify that, and then it comes back down, but all the way through to that spot that you're talking about. But when your nose is the best filter, right? And if we're breathing through our body, where there's bacteria in our mouth, there's less filter because we intake food, and you know what I mean. But when you breathe fresh air up here and all the way down, I swear, you start breathing fresher and you feel more relaxed. So just if you do something like that while you're meditating or whatever, even while I'm working out, I don't do the anymore. I'm just constantly just breathing in and out through that nose throughout the exercise, super relaxed. I don't even tense up anymore if I don't have to, because all my exercises now are loading stretches. I'm on all fours. Like you see me doing stuff right now. This is what I do at the gym, but a little more intense. And like if I keep going, it just gets better.
Yeah, they say that pressure point down there when you meditate and you do breathing techniques, if you activate that consistently, that's kind of when you activate the fucking kundalini or whatever. But just to allude to the importance of breathing through your nose, I read this book called Breathe by Matthew something. I forget his name. But yeah, he studied these Tibetan monks as well. And if you breathe through certain passages of your nostrils, you get different effects. I think if you breathe through your right nostril, you activate the left meridian of your left hemisphere of your brain. So it makes you more active. And I think the left one kind of calms you down a little bit. I might have that reversed.
Try it. I mean, try it right now. Put the tongue to the roof and just do like whole one nostril.
I just smoked smoked the blunt, so I'm probably
But that's when I feel my body the most, when I'm high as fuck, and I feel everything even more. That's how I learn.
But the tongue thing, I heard that you put the tongue on the roof of your mouth to balance your energy, to make it symmetrical, kind of. So you're,
dude, I totally feel that. I totally feel that, what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Totally feel. Yeah, so that's nuts. It's pretty fucking crazy. My grandma, she was a doctor, and she actually told me that like the more you learn about the human body, the more evidence there is that there is a God, because like there's no way this all just kind of like randomly came about. You know what I mean? Fucking crazy. What's up, Francis? How you doing? The headphones are all over the place.
It's so much. I mean, it's very insightful. But I'm like, I need a shot real quick. But yeah, no. To come to the breathing, actually, I started practicing breathing more through my nose because I saw this TikTok. There was like a doctor or something, and this girl who was allergic to like her cat. She kept breathing in and out through her mouth, and then her face deformed. Like,
yes, I was gonna bring that up. Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I saw that, I started being more self-aware of like breathing in through my nose a lot more, especially when I'm working. Because sometimes I'm whether I was like doing lobster dom stuff, cooking, or even now in my current job, sometimes you're just in the zone and you kind of don't really focus on your breathing. I focus on my breathing a lot when I'm working out, but like when I'm like just doing like regular work, I tend to catch myself like, I need some oxygen, bro. Like I just been breathing in and out through my mouth. So
hey, you're really aware of yourself. That's really cool, man.
Yeah. So ever since I discovered that video, I try to take a few minutes and just like, okay, just breathe in. And it like really, I mean, Shane, when you brought that up, it kind of like brought up certain times when I'm going through like a stressful situation, and just take some time to just breathe in and out through your nose, and it kind of like levels the playing field and gives your train of thought a little more leveled instead of just thinking with your emotions and stuff.
Dude, I'm so proud of you for saying that right now, because it's the truth. And you know what? People have been trained. We're all going through this right now. Everyone. This is why my marriage fell apart. Because when you start being honest with yourself, you can be honest to others, but they may not like it, right? You have to just continue to be honest with yourself, okay? Because you're doing it. Like everyone's facing the issues right now. Everyone is facing our demons and what we project, because we're a mirror of ourselves. But everything that's around us, we created. Okay, so you keep making yourself happy, and I promise you, everything's gonna be just fine.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Dude, I felt it. I felt you. I told you. I said it earlier. I was like, I appreciate your awareness of your body, because when you start realizing those things by yourself, and then you start hearing it from other people, those are called confirmations, right? This is how the internet was made for us. They stole the internet away from us. We're gonna have an internet bill of rights soon. I know it. I've seen word of it. I do believe, like, I know what I watch, right? They stole the internet away from us because that is our peer-to-peer way to get around the propaganda, right? So like you see movies like Ready Player One, there's always a resistance and they're always on their old frequency things, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's the internet. That's what brought us together. That's why they censored the internet. See, this is us. This is how we help each other grow.
Also, just to close off on the nasal breathing, I think there's also a shitload of nerves in your nasal passageway. So you activate a bunch of like that shit, and those nerves are connected to like your phrenic nerves and your other shit.
Yeah.
So, and also what Francis said about like being, as far as being aware of your breathing, like a lot of us breathe shallowly. I mean, from my field, like I learned that too, that if you look at my body right here, we kind of breathe here. You know what I mean? And we should really be breathing like right here, like to your belly button. You know what I mean? But a lot of us, when we're stressed out, we breathe just kind of. And when you don't nasal breathe, like you said, and you breathe through your mouth, as a kid, if you grow up that way, that leads to overbites. And fucking later on, when you're older, it leads to sleep apnea.
Absolutely.
So there's, I think a lot of people, what they do when they catch their kids breathing with their mouths, they give them a mouth guard. So they chomp down and they breathe through their nose. So if you're an athlete, I think you also get a lot of advantages just breathing through your nose.
Can I just, I have a theory about one of those things. Like, you know how they're destroying the family unit, right?
Yeah, bro.
Like they they take the baby away from the mom, and so the first thing that they want to do is get onto the breast, right? And the first thing they learn how to do is to latch onto the nipple, right? And I think that entire process right there teaches you how to breathe like that. So I think from the beginning, I just had this feeling, because that's why they would introduce formula. Why would you introduce formula if there's boobs? Boobs. Everyone loves boobs. So it's just like, you see what I'm seeing? That's my little tangent. And that's my feeling with that. Every time I feel that conversation, it's never changed. So I feel like that was part of the process that gave us to stop breathing correctly.
Yeah, for sure. And just to talk about like the physical touch, where I work with babies now, and dude, sometimes
so you must be blessed, my
dude. Sometimes I'm the first like person a baby touches, and it's like, what the fuck? Pass my girl on to you, bro.
Hey, you have good energy, my man. So that baby is blessed.
I hope
you receive life.
But it's nuts, right? Like you'd want your first contact to be with mom, obviously.
Or dad.
But dude, I just want to bring up, have you guys heard of like the dolphin birthing centers in Hawaii and shit?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
bro, isn't that nuts, Francis?
I believe in this.
That's crazy, bro. Like I mean,
but I believe in frequencies.
Do you know about it, Shane? If you want to kind of just tell the audience what it is.
So basically, animals have the most amazing understanding of the world through, and most of them it's sound, vibrations, and frequencies. We all know we know dolphins have echolocation, right? Mm-hmm. But we always were told that was just for sound. It's not just for sound. It's also to feel. Like I think when we voice something, we send out an energy and it comes back to us, right? If I say hello to someone with a smile, they smile too, and they give it back to me. That is an energy balance, right? And so it's an energy of feeling. So yeah, these dolphins are said to know when the mother's pregnant, and they can speak to them. And dude, it's such a beautiful. Like I believe in that kind of stuff because I know my understanding of with the information I've been given of energy. It's beautiful.
It's fucking crazy, and like they're rare to find now. They're like barely around. There's I think after it started catching on, the government immediately regulated it, which is fucking weird.
Well, why? Because the government, just like you guys were saying earlier about the FDA, what they allow us to do to our bodies, it's what they are allowing us to put in our bodies and into our air and into our waters, and it's all to harm us. If you go to one country at a McDonald's and say it has 10 ingredients in it, same meal, an hour one, there's like 20 staples. There's something ridiculous. I don't know. It's something stupid. And it's just like, wait, why? When you go to other countries, sometimes their food, they where the food came from because it says so on the box. It says the farm that they got it from. Oh, that's interesting. Why don't we have that? We get all these words that we don't even know about.
It's crazy because they say that children that are born through the fucking the dolphin process, they're more social. They speak earlier.
It's energy, man. It's fucking nuts. I teach my children this. We can too. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. Like they have taught us to not talk to strangers. And what that means is you have already shut yourself out from meeting a new soul, a new person, a new life, a new version of yourself. And it's just like, why? So I started in my neighborhood saying hello to every single person. If I'm walking, I'll do weird movements and I get their attention so I can say hi to them. I talk and do this step by step. I've made my neighborhood friendly, and just through my mentality. And my kids do the same thing. And I've met so many amazing people. I've learned to love my neighbor. I had to learn to love myself, and now I can love my neighbor. You know what I'm saying? So it's an energy. It's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, since we're on the topic of dolphins, honestly, I hate dolphins, bro.
Why?
I think dolphins are bastards, man.
Why? Because they have basically, I would consider them. They have like a British sense of humor in a sense. They're funny as fuck.
They're fucking perverts, man. They're super smart, but
they're mammals.
I went down a rabbit hole on fucking dolphins, and I'll catch you guys up on it, but fucking
they're packs.
They rape female dolphins. They smoke, or they don't smoke. They find like fish.
They get high.
They get high.
I saw it. They got high off of something. What was it? I can't remember, dude. They get high.
Yeah, I think it was a pufferfish.
Yeah, that's.
So what do they get high off of?
There's this pufferfish with like a certain toxin. If you take a little bit of it, let me try to pull it up. If you take a little bit of it, like you get a little high. And these fucking dolphins, bro, like. They're taking it and they're passing it around.
Yeah, but look at us right now. Look at us right now. We're
getting high.
Someone's having a drink right now.
I think it's the raping thing for me, man.
That's mean.
Wait, what do you mean rape though, or do they just
No,
fuck?
they rape them. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll like
What do you
corral.
mean?
They're a
They'll
pack,
corral
they're a pack.
female dolphins, and then they'll fucking like
That's Nick.
kind of
That's
corner them, and
interesting,
then
though.
Do they enjoy? Do they enjoy sex?
yeah. Okay, so that's another thing I was going to talk
Of
about.
course they
So
do.
this
They're
is there's a
Oh,
scientist.
because
His
they're
name
mammals,
is
they do.
John Lilly, right? And what he was trying to do is he thought that dolphins and humans can communicate. And he was like trying to study like mimic. He's trying to study like the squeaks and the clicks of the dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And trying to teach him like human patterns or whatever. And so this guy John Lilly, he hired this chick, and this chick started working with the dolphins. And so what they do, bro, is they'd give these dolphins fucking LSD.
Oh my god.
And they'd think that it would help them be a little more telekinetic.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
what?
They didn't
Wait,
need it. Oh, they
who are
didn't
these
need
people?
it. They didn't need it.
Oh,
This
the
is in
doctor.
the 1960s. His name is John Lilly.
Oh man.
Dude, like Carl
yeah.
Sagan went up to this guy, and he was thinking like, you know, maybe if you find out how to talk to dolphins, we could find out how to talk to aliens. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
But anyways, the chick that they hired to work with the dolphins, the dolphin that she was working with wasn't like really interested in learning. You know, she'd kind of go to the corner, not pay attention. But what he'd do, the dolphin would turn around and kind of move his penis close to the chick, kind of like egging him on to like jack him off. You know what I mean?
God damn.
And so this chick was like, fuck it, I get it, you know, maybe it'll work. So he started jacking off the dolphin, and after the dolphin nutted, the dolphin cooperated like fully.
No.
Wow,
bro.
Yeah, but ultimately, like it leaked that they were giving the dolphins LSD and jacking them off. And they got
Yo, I definitely need to stop now. What the fuck, dog?
Oh my god. He's like, you need to bow down to me.
But as far as did they enjoy it? So what happened? That dolphin that was working with that female got shipped off to another like place, and I guess that dolphin really loved that female or that woman or whatever. So what it would do is it would just kind of sink in the bottom of the pool, and it pretty much committed suicide because of depression.
What?
It got emotionally attached to the fucking worker.
Oh, that's
So they're advanced creatures, so they know they're raping other dolphins.
yeah, of course they do. They like it. But you know what? You know what? That's fucking crazy though. It's a thing of ownership. It's a thing of like pride. You know, when she jerked him off, he respected her.
I mean,
Interesting.
you think that they're more advanced and smarter, that they wouldn't think like that, though, right?
Yeah, I think no. I don't know, man. He was throwing fits until it happened. Like if you think about how women abstain from sex in a marriage or something like that, and you know that's a form of oppression. Like like it's a need that someone needs, right? And the one person that is supposed to offer that to you holds it from you. That is demasculating. You know what I'm saying?
My thing, Shane, is if I'm in the fucking open waters,
I hope you don't get hit by.
I'd rather come across a hungry shark than a horny dolphin. You know what I'm saying? Sign me fucking up for a hungry shark, man.
Bro, the sharks won't even come after you. But I feel like the dolphin might.
That's funny. But yeah, no, Carl Sagan was saying like, dude, if you like, I guess the way they were trying to teach dolphins was they're trying to teach dolphins English instead of, trying to decipher what the clicks meant. So he's like, dude, if you talk to an alien, you don't try to talk to the alien in English. You got to find like another medium in order to communicate, and then you go from there. So
yeah, but think about it this way: we have to teach the dolphin to understand us, but that means they understand us better than we understand them. You see? You mean so that means they're smarter than us.
Which, dude, my favorite animal is fucking killer whale, and aren't killer whales aren't they more closely related to dolphins than whales?
I've never heard that, but I mean they are beautiful, and they're very similar. Like if you see the way they move, they're much more similar to whales. I mean to dolphins and whales for sure. Just in their body structure and shape, it feels like
apex predator, man.
And they're beautiful.
But yeah, we talked about fucking flat Earth and fucking inner Earth. So you think the Earth is flat? I saw this video of this dude on an airplane, and he was talking to hella pilots and asking pilots like how long they've been flying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, "Hey, so honest question, do you think the Earth is flat?" And all the pilots were like, "Oh, for sure, man."
Oh, of course it is. The horizon is flat. You know what gives us the image? Every time we look into a video of the world, everything is shot on a fisheye.
Yeah.
So when you're actually on a plane and you're looking through the window, it's rounded too. You're still looking through the fisheye. If you were to get on an air balloon and you were to look out into the world, you will see a fucking flat plane. It's fucking flat. It's so exciting, but I think it's like more of like I said, it's like a ring, almost like a ringed thing, like a tree. I see the world as it's like a tree. We have rings, and there are outer lands, extra terrain, not extraterrestrial, because I do believe we live under a dome, and we live in a biodome, and dude, it's a beautiful thing because like if you think about stars, we all know the stars were the maps. That's how they navigated the oceans, right? So it's a map. So it spins like this. It spins like this in the water above. It's a map.
Honestly, just to wrap this up with fucking Nazis, The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The dome. They call that dome the firmament, right? Yeah. And I guess if you guys don't know what the firmament is, it's like an ethereal dome that cover. I mean, pretty much like The Simpsons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
The Truman Show.
Here's the
movie, The Truman.
Okay,
Show.
So this is perfect wrap up. So the guy talking about Nazis when World War II ended, one of the main dudes that America inducted into NASA was Wernher von Braun, who's like, I guess he's known for hanging like the slowest Jewish workers in front of the internment camps so that they're like encouraged to work faster. And I guess someone said that if this guy was alive, he would be charged for crazy war crimes, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he was a top rocket scientist, so hey, take over NASA.
Dude, I mean, if you look into I think the Nuremberg trials, I think there were only a few persecuted, and just like, wait, where's the rest of them? I think that's
bro. And now that I'm looking at the Nuremberg trials, I think they kind of witch hunted them. You know what I mean? They kind of picked who to pinpoint.
It's always controlled. That's the whole point. It is when there's a war, the winner creates the history, and you know what? They did that. They created the history. They indoctrinated. They slowly, they make the elderly seem crazy to not believe them because you know what? They even lived through it all. The people closest to me in this neighborhood now, they're all the elderly because you know what? I speak my mind to them and they just talk. And they know that I understand them because they lived through it. We were indoctrinated. They lived through it. You listen to them. You just listen to old people. And that's all you need to understand. Ask them questions because they know it's so interesting. So good talking to old people.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's crazy because like I feel like the current generation kind of has this shitty look on the older generation. Well, but getting back on getting back on the firmament with Wernher von Braun. So Wernher von Braun, famous rocket scientist for the Nazis that work with NASA. Initially, NASA was, focused on underwater and exploring the ocean. And then later on, for some reason, they shifted their focus into outer space. And I think the firmament, right, kind of alludes to
they don't want you to look
space being fake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like outer space being fake. So what had happened was, I guess on his deathbed, Wernher von Braun said that like the last play that NASA and the government is gonna, the last play that they're gonna make is they're gonna fake an alien invasion coming from the sky. And the reason that they were looking underwater was because, they believe in inner Earth and that, the real UFOs, Antarctica and all that shit was underground. So, you focus up in the sky, but really shit's kind of going on underground.
Exactly.
And dude, what kind of drives this home is on Wernher von Braun's tombstone, he had a Bible verse, right? He had Psalms 19:1 on there. And the Bible verse says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." Like, bro, he just put it out there.
Yeah, absolutely. They tell us every. I haven't read the Bible, but my experiences about God are within myself and all my conversations with these people. So just like you read me a new Psalms, and when I hear something, it's just confirmation of what I already feel that I know. So thank you for that. Like, appreciate it.
That's nuts because I think I brought this up in a previous podcast, but you know when SpaceX kind of launches those satellites, it looks like a rocket's hitting like a glass dome and it shatters and shit with like neon lights.
Bouncing off the firmament.
Man, that shit's fucking nuts.
Have you seen the rocket, the private like people like who just make rockets? They shot it all the way up and you see it go zoom, and it just sounds like it's floating. That sounds like it's in water. It's so interesting. There's so many things like skyrocks. They're blue. They're these blue like chunks of, I don't even know what it is. You know what I mean? It looks like ice, but it's crazy. Like you can look at videos about Antarctica, and they know it's flat. Dude, it's wild.
Not gonna lie, when I first saw that like SpaceX shatter thing, I thought fucking Jesus was coming back, bro.
No,
I just fucking went to back to school night. You know, when you're your seventh grader, you go back to your elementary school looking cool and shit.
Yeah, man. I have reason to believe he's back already.
I was over there and I got in a fight with this guy, right? This fucking dumbass guy. But anyways, after we fought, I saw that shit happen in the sky, and I was like, "Oh man, I sinned at the wrong time, bro."
Yeah, dude. Oh, you're busted. That woke you up so soon. Good job, bro. Good job.
Bro, I asked for forgiveness so fast, man. It's nuts.
Not that path. Not that path. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Shane, have you done any psychedelics?
Dude, I've done shrooms, and I love shrooms, and I used it as a tool to help me to surpass a challenge. I'm so in tune with my body. When I'm high, I think so clearly, and I just speak without insecurity. Even when I'm sober, I'm like that now too, because I only speak one word. And it's just like the psychedelics help me just see from a different perspective. It helped me shift my perspective, and it shifted it enough that it helped me understand better. And so I had use of it. And then actually most recently I have this theory of this mirror theory of reflection in yourself and blah blah blah. And I wanted to go get some shrooms or something and just stare at into my own eyes in the mirror. No, seriously, I feel like they are a portal to your inner self.
Dude,
I want to try it.
Have you heard of Ingo Swann?
Ingo Swann?
He's
Are you talking about actor?
No, he's a psychic.
Oh. Wow.
Like in the 1960s or whatever, the CIA did like this psychic research on psychic soldiers to remote view. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I know all about that.
And they did an experiment with him, and I guess somehow they proved that your eyes kind of emit some kind of electromagnetic force field or whatever.
Well, if you think about what are our eyes? They're just lenses.
They're extensions of your brain, and I mean that kind of gives more weight to the observer effect, right?
Yeah, but if you understand what a camera is, the lens it's just how much light is being. It is the mechanism to absorb light, right? And then behind it is I believe is our pineal gland that has to understand all the colors and all the things, and that's what is there. It's just like they have taught us to focus on the wrong things. They taught us to focus with our eyes and weird and things. The absorption of light, decalcifying the pineal gland, they do everything to fuck it up.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts because like if you look at the light frequency chart, we only see like maybe like 30-40% of what there is to see.
Yeah, and I think it's our goal to be able to see and feel and be open to more of the frequencies, and that is how you start to ascend. And that's why this is you quickly start to realize that this is an ascension process of waking people up and moving on with your journey. It's beautiful. What's going on right now? We are blessed to be living in these times.
Low key, just to wrap this up, our previous guest Juan, he said that he thinks that like the natives, since they're that the air that they were breathing was not really polluted, they're eating really good food. They said that their senses were more in tune than us, so they were able to see like certain deities and certain like beings that we can't see now because of the food that we put in, the pollution we're breathing. So he thinks that that's why there was a massacre of a lot of the natives, is in order to history out. It's fucking crazy.
Go down the rabbit hole of, there's a video out there on YouTube. It's called "There Are No More Forests," something like that. And then when you realize that a lot of these massive landforms that we believe to be rock, like those massive landforms out in the desert, the big flat ones, the tall flat ones, like those are actually petrified trees.
Shit.
A lot of our like, think about Avatar, or think about, I always go back to Luffy from One Piece, like breathe like the rubber band man, expand your body, blah, blah, blah. But if you think about a lot of these things, there's always the tree of might, there's always there's the devil's fruit from the trees of and Luffy, like they all give you power. Look at Avatar, there are all these giant, you go back to the natives, right? You think about Pocahontas, all the trees are massive, right? Like they have stolen life from our biodome, from our plains, right? To just kill us. I believe we're meant to live much longer than 100 years. But they kill us in every single way: food, our mental, everything. They try to bring us down, and it's just a mental state. So when you learn how to rise above and stop being triggered, look, everyone's triggered because they're making you triggered. Be above it. Try to look at it with like a 40,000 foot view and be like, hey, I don't understand this person because I really haven't walked in his shoes. You don't understand me. We have different perspectives. Like I'm learning from my 3-year-old children, my 4-year-old child, my 14-year-old, and understanding they have their own opinions and they have their own perspectives. And you know what? They get to the same thing in a different manner than you. And like, whoa, if you just understood them a little bit better, you would see they were getting to the same thing but a different path. And sometimes those perspectives blow my mind with my children. Make me so proud that they think that way. But that's everybody. We need to teach people to critically think again. We have to stop being a useless slave and stop being a robot. This is how we help other people ascend, by talking and having these conversations and just showing that we can love a stranger and really touch someone. I was worried about this because I wasn't going to be next to someone physically. I didn't think I would be able to feel your energies. But you know what? That's not true. I can hear you. And when I can hear you, I can feel you. When you talk, I can feel the affliction and the emotion in your voices. So I want to thank you guys for having me on here. I've always wanted to be heard.
Hell yeah, man.
I have you, man.
Open door policy. Let's wrap it up, guys. When Howie gets back, I think he's coming back.
Probably taking a shit.
Just a question for everyone. When we take psychedelics, do you guys think it's more of like a lesson that we're getting from like a different medium, or do you think it just you're tripping and we just kind of find meaning into that trip? What do you guys think?
I think it all depends on your intention as soon as you take that psychedelic. So if you're taking it to learn and experience a new like life lesson, then I feel like with that intention, you're going to put that energy to that psychedelic and that's what's going to happen. Or you can just like, oh, I'm going to get fucked up and party. Then that's also going to be the intention you're going to have too. So that's what I feel like.
Amen, bro. That's perfect.
Definitely.
You agree, Howie?
Yeah. I think it's just what you make of it. But it definitely opens your eyes to a lot of things. I can see why Shane wants to take that, just to kind of see more clearly,
Mm.
Yeah, perspective. It's a shift in perspective, and that's why, exactly that. And I actually do think we can shift into different multi-dimensions in that way at the same time, because I believe time is all-encompassing and not linear. That's a different topic. So perspective is so everything.
Hell yeah. Well, fuck. That about wraps it up, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Guys.
Where can people find you guys if they want to follow or reach out?
Shit, don't follow me.
I think Shane's shadow banned from the Matrix, right?
Dude, they deleted me off of Instagram. They forced me. They knew I wouldn't sign something. On Facebook, they're like, "Oh, we need you to sign this because it looks like your account needs extra protection." I'm like, "Oh, bullshit. Nope, I'm done." And dude, get off of social media. It is a degradation of our lives. Like, get off of it, become happy. Use it for business, but don't use it for personal. Like, it's changed my life being off of it. Like, you don't get fucked up by their algorithms. That's AI. They fuck us up with all the AI.
Wait, Shane, you're on Truth Social, right? So tell the followers what you're on Truth Social.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm on Truth Social. Oh, dude, people wouldn't.
I need to get on that, by the way.
I hope a whole bunch of people. I'm Shane Thunder Daniels on Truth Social, and on Twitter I'm like sdaniels009. Yeah, so
cool.
Those are the ones I'm on.
S Daniels 009. Get that over there.
And and Shane Thunder Daniels on Truth Social. But yeah, get off of those other ones, man. They're all controlled. Get off of TikTok.
All right. With that said, remember, guys, if you want to continue the conversation, you can join the Discord. You guys can go deeper down the rabbit holes on any of the topics that we mentioned. And if you're looking for the link, it's on our website. Thanks for coming on, guys. Howie, Shane, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
That was fucking awesome, man. Good call.
Hell yeah. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Peace.